Welcome back. All right, so let's talk about game. When it comes to romantic relationship, let's talk about game. It doesn't matter what stage you are in your romantic journey. You could be single right now, as in like dry, right? You could be with somebody you're dating. Oh, sorry, before that, talking stage, dating, relationships, right? Marriage, especially if you're in a marriage, you need to learn game. Okay? You need to learn game. There's no way around it. You're in a game. Either you realize it or not. I'm not asking you to play game with people's heart. A lot of people misinterpret that. Quick to misinterpret it that way. No, I'm saying you are inside a game. Okay? You don't get to choose to sit on the sidelines. There's something going on. You're engaging with people, you're potentially engaging with people, and then potentially can lead to romantic relationships. You're in the game already. And if you're in denial about that, you will just end up collecting. Okay.
You collect woto.
So let's talk about this. This was a response to a video I did. It's got to be up to 2 months ago now. And somebody had a comment, and I felt like we should talk about it. Hey, cool mama, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So let's talk about this really quickly. So the person says, the game may exist, but I never heard of a game worthy of the name played by two parts, where only one part tells the rule and the other not. Let me know what you understand about this. Maybe I'm missing something, but if you don't let me know, then I will speak mine in a second today. In a second to that. Once I finish reading. Shout out to Indie Tony. Good to see you, Indie Tony. So he says, when one part tells the rule and the other not. Okay. Or maybe most of us are just too reluctant to have the right to play the game, and instead to accept that they are cut off and stay apart. This is the part where you throw your hands in the air and you say, you know what? I don't want to play that game. I'm not part of it anyway. You don't get to choose that. Okay? All right? In fact, saying that is actually your game. That's the game you're playing. Maybe that's why you're losing. Right? That's why you're creating undesirable outcomes. Right? Your game is to tell yourself that you're not part of the game. That is still game. You're not escaping this. Okay? That's the context. Okay? They try as desperate, resulting even more worse than before. Okay, so they try to play and then it gets worse, right? It gets worse than before, and inflicting the kind of self-destructive punishment and then rattling around about how much unfair the society is and blah blah blah. Jesus Christ. The person says, I am an incel too, but at least I accepted my situations. And don't blame anybody about that, but the others. No incel, no cry. All right, so at least he's admitting to being an incel, right? So let's talk about this really quickly. Again, you could be in a marriage. This is applicable to you. Okay, this is applicable to you. You can give up, but that's game. That's your game, right? And you will continue to create the outcome. And the fact that you're willing to give up is also part of the reasons why you end up where you are right now today. It's not a matter of blame, faults, judgments, all those different type of things. They're not relevant to this conversation. Okay, they're simply not relevant. They are actually, and if you force them to be relevant, they are poisons. Shame, insult, blame, fault, judgment, condemnation, guilt, discrete logic, sarcasm, right? Condescension. Number 10, right and wrong obsessed. If you force them into this situation, you know, it just gets worse. That's what makes it worse. It's the giving up that makes it worse, right? But also mindset. It's a mindset issue, right? It's a mindset issue. Will make it worse. How you think about the events, the way you process the events of life, can make life worse for you. You're right. It's not a matter of fault. It's not blaming you. I'm just showing you your leverage point where you can choose to go the other route and you can start creating a different type of outcome for yourself. Something to pay attention to. Okay? Something to pay attention to. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to break it down line by line. The game may exist. It does exist. It's not a matter of it may. It does. It's like this life. It's an active marketplace. We're moving in and out, and people are competing both in the business world, in romantic world, in personal lives. Just think about it. Why is everybody always saying something's unfair? Because the active marketplace. That's why everybody keeps saying things are unfair. Okay, somebody is always looking to have an upper hand. Right? It's just a reality. Okay? Just accept that first. Then we can play all the other games later. Accept the reality first. Don't be in denial about that reality. Okay? But I never heard of a game worthy of name where only one part decide the rule. Okay, that game is called seduction. It's not exactly that they are deciding that the one side is deciding the rule. Okay, it's you saying, I make up the rule. I have power of influence. I just need to identify it. I need to learn what that is. Right? I need to know what it is. Okay? Which one of this, which one of this is playing a part in all of this that's making me create the results that I have, right? You're clearly some kind of anti-seducer. You're playing at least 2 or 3 of this with one of this, right? Okay, that's what this is. Number 5 is a big deal in this. That weird self-conscious. It's self-conscious. It's like, I know me. I know that I'm creating this, so I just chose to give up, right? But let's go back to the beginning. It says, or maybe most of us, let's go back to the beginning, where there are 2 parts, but only one part tells the rule and the other not. So I'm saying you're assuming that the other person is telling the rule and then you're not. Okay, what if I switch that for you? You set the rules. Okay, you get to set the rule, right? Just a mindset, okay? Like just a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of pride, healthy one, right? A little of ego should play here. Like you just know, like this is knowing that this is self-confidence we're talking about, right? Talk about self-esteem, right? We're talking about reassuring yourself like you're good enough, right? So because I'm good enough, I know I have influence on other people and I can set the rules of what type of engagement, the rules of engagement, right? As opposed to what you're assuming here, which is the other person. I'm guessing you're assuming that the other person is setting the rule. Why should the woman be telling me how they should be? Remember the conversation about is being a good man good enough, right? No, we're saying like right now, you're saying, you know what? I don't know if a good man is good enough. I know I'm a good man, but squash all of that. I'm the guy for you, right? Can you have that level of confidence? Can you show up with that? Okay, if you can't, can you figure out how to get to that, right? This is a big part of this conversation. Okay, most of us are just too reluctant to have the right to play the game. But if you know that you're in the game already, that will cancel out this statement and instead to accept that they are cut off and stay apart. Anyway, the English, they disturb my head small, but I think I know what he's trying to say. They try as desperate, resulting even in worse than before. Maybe you're playing with other people's rules is the problem, right? Playing with other, you're playing to other people's rules. Like women said they like you to do this. Women say they like me to ask before they kiss them, so I must. Another conversation, right? Women say they don't like to be it's what do you call it, sexual assault if I cat call. So instead of that, I'm just going to stay away and not talk to women. See, you make it. Remember what was this is number 3 here. You become your own moral police, okay? And also number 10 here, right and wrong obsessed. It's not about the other person, it's about your own self-confidence, okay? It's about just knowing that you know that you know that you know that you're good enough for someone, for the right person, right? That is a game that you can actually play here. It's about you're afraid, you're moving with fear. That's the game you're playing. You're playing the game of fear. You're literally fear mongering yourself. Is it your fault? No, it's not. A lot of it has to do with personality, the type of person you are, how you were raised. Some of us, we had uncles around. So a lot of the stuff we saw it play out over time again. It's not, it's now it's kind of second nature to some of us, but it can be learned. It's almost difficult. It's almost damn near impossible, but you can be learned because you approach other areas of life the same way. With your resume, you have to show up with some confidence because if you blah, 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 nobody wants to hire a person that's moving with fear. A self-defeated person, nobody wants to hire that. You move this way anyway. That's why I said you're in the game anyway. Okay? Then they try as desperate, resulting even in worse than before, inflicting a kind of self-destructive punishment. So rejection, none of us, we all don't like rejection. That's what he's calling self-destructive punishment. And then rattling around about how unfair the society is and blah, blah, blah. It's talking about rejection. It's talking about when people have been rejected so much, they will now come back to the internet and tell us that these women are for the streets. Right? I get it. I understand. I get it, okay? But can I tell you something? Brotherly sounds like a brotherly. We've all been rejected before. All of us. We've all been rejected. Okay? It's just that it really doesn't stop anything. Okay? In fact, we've all been rejected to a point where it hurts to the core, like Ella. Like Jesus, right? We've all been there before, right? Where people were laughing at you, like you were humiliated. We've all been there. All of us, we've been there. Right? I'm an incel too, but at least I accepted my situation. No, that language at least, it usually starts you said self-destructive. That the at least part is the self-destructive part. Right? So instead of saying I can't, I learned this inside of Rich Dad Poor Dad, a book that you would read and you say, let me go out there and make a killing, make some serious money. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Instead of saying I can't, why not start using language like how can I? Indefinitely. Just learn. It doesn't mean you don't turn it to a religion, because one of your issues with this kind of thing is when you learn one new thing, you turn it to a religion. It must be this way. You're obsessed with binaries. It's this way or this way. Right? In life, especially game, it's never like that. Right? Never, ever like that. Game is never, ever like that. Pay attention to that. Okay? Something to pay attention to. All right. So, I think there's a lot of self-defeat. Just ask, how can I? Like, not just with picking up women, because it sounds like we're talking about picking up. Listen, it's your rules of engagement. It starts with your self-confidence. It starts with self-esteem, right? It starts with knowing that you're good enough. You just know that you're good. If you're controlled by is a man good enough thing, it's you questioning how good you are. You're questioning how good you are. And if you question how good you are, everyone else will continue to question that for you as well. How you move is exactly what people are going to continue to mimic. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Hey, Cynthia. Good to see you, Cynthia. Welcome. I'm late. The title of the show, though. Oh, you missed that. You missed the main topic, but you could watch it later. Yeah, we did that at the top of the hour. Rejection is a natural process to the right direction. Yes. We've all experienced rejection. That's good news for you. You're not that special. You're special, oh, as in like somebody out there will value something about you. But no, you're not that special. We've all experienced rejection, right? Right? If people tend to tell me in the manosphere space that you just happen to be lucky. I was like, did you do the toasting for me? Show ya with any. Kilo me, but I'm lucky. What do you mean I'm lucky? I'm lucky, Bitibawo. I get that, I believe it from time to time. You just say, oh, you just lucky to find a traditional. My wife is traditional. Right? This is traditional. There's no such thing. They don't exist. Traditional women. People can have traditional values here and there, but we're all modern people in modern times. Every single one of us. If you don't understand how to deal with that, say, how can I? So don't say I can't. Or say, oh, no, they're just all wrong. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. But, that's that. Gomez says, I did a video for... Gomez, are you a content creator? If you're a content creator, just tell us what the name is. We'd like to support. 4 years ago, that rejection is a redirection. Yeah. God is taking us. Yeah. Rejection is... It's just that. Rejection. It wasn't a fit, right? Don't take it too personally. Don't wrap yourself up in that and say, this is it and this is the end of your... Yeah. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. I'll be right back.